little flecks of light jumping across, catching fire. No. Please. Thank you. It is a difficult thing. A difficult thing to not just seek help or to ask for it as well. Difficult for people to admit to themselves that they need help. Und that's why my profession exists. It is a way to ask for help from someone who is extraneous from your circumstance, someone who you do not know. And it is of no minor significance that the relationship between psychiatrist and client is transactional. The transactional nature of the relationship places a moratorium for feelings, and it enables you as the client to have a confidence that I will not judge you, and I will provide you with the finest care that I can. And similarly, it's completely confidential. Now, this is your first session with me. What I appreciate, it would be intimidating for you, a little scary. And you might find that lots of the time you don't know what you're going to talk about. Don't know if there is anything to talk about. And sometimes you might find that you question the veracity of your own statements. You feel like you might be lying to yourself, exaggerating, or perhaps even making things up. But what I want you to remember is that when you're here, talking with me as you are, everything you say is true, even the lies. I know, it seems like an odd thing to say, but in every lie, in every obfuscation, in every betrayal, in every mistake, there is a kernel of truth, a kernel of true desire, and an element of you. It will be difficult to look at yourself. You think of me less as talking to a wall, which you bounce ideas on, more like talking to a mirror. I won't say a lot. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. It's about you, not about me. It's about your experience, not our shared one. But most importantly of all, it is about learning to love yourself a little bit more. I think that you have not been too kind to yourself. Certainly recently, perhaps ever. You're hard on yourself. But sometimes we need to say it out loud, how we feel, to somebody else, a stranger like me. And sometimes we need that person to say it back to us, to make it real. You understand? Only when we see the reflection of that truth back at us do we know that it is true, that it happened. Now, I must take notes, but they are purely for me. I will not share them. So, I would like you to start at the beginning. Yes, as far back as you could remember. Yeah. How old were you? And how did that make you feel? Yeah. No, it's completely understandable. What do you remember about that? Yeah, as much detail as you want to, as much as you can remember, as much as you think is helpful. But remember, everything you tell me is helpful. So thank you. Yeah. Well, you see, there is a misconception regarding trauma. Yeah. A lot of people think that to experience trauma, or certainly to experience the effects of the trauma, the harassment of trauma, one must have been through one singular cataclysmic series of events or fun event. When in actual fact, trauma does not regard for size. No. Trauma is what it is. A broken pen to one person could be as traumatic as a knife to the heart for another. A broken heart to one comparable to the loss of life for the other. And is important that you should note that micro trauma, tiny traumas, can manifest, collectivize, and become much larger. Trauma is a collection in of itself. So please do not devalue or diminish your experience. Be honest with yourself about how it just made you feel. If someone stealing your candy makes you grossly upset, and you cannot stop thinking about it, it is trauma. It has affected you. And all of these experiences, traumatic or otherwise, they collectivize, manifest in early childhood and stick with us. Our formative years are the foundation for the rest of our lives. And if there is water, or tears, or slip in the foundation, the structure is unsound. It is fine. We are working together to get to the root of the issue, so that I can help you, and you can live here and feel not like a new person, but you can feel like you, the you that you deserve to be. So please, no matter the gravity, no matter the size, tell me everything you can about those years that you remember. And may I ask, how was the relationship with your parents, with your family? Yeah. No, it's helpful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I told you, there's no judgment here. In my world, there is no right or wrong. There are simply things that have happened, things that we were a part of, things that we caused, or things that happened to us. Sometimes we can feel like they are no longer the commandant at the vessel we're on, that we are no longer in control of where we're heading. And part of the therapeutic exercise is to regain that control, regain the orientation and the direction that we lost, if to ourselves or to others. Yeah. But with that in mind, it is about regaining agency of oneself, so that we are not beholden to others or subservient to others. I apologize for that fucking engine outside. It's motorcycles. You want a peaceful life. Break on a bike, transfer. Awful. To apologize. No. We will continue. I'll try my best to ignore. So, depends, yeah. Well, you can imagine it must have felt like a lot of responsibility, especially at such a young age. I'm familiar with the id, ego, the superego. Yeah, it's usually described as the iceberg, so that on top is the superego. These are the rules that we learn from our parents, guardians, society. Below that is the ego, which is, I suppose you could say, at times, our human emotions. And under that is id. Id is our carnal, childlike want, the need for things that we do not need, and desire for things that are close to the heart. But we suppress all of these things. And a lot of that comes from childhood experience. Yeah. It's common, very common, for survivors of trauma, for people who have been abused, whatnot, to manifest two things. Could typically feel like they lie about the thing that happened to them, or downplay it to the point where it becomes immaterial, or so small and insignificant that when someone actually hears it, it is shocking. And there's a feeling of intense separation, alienation, or dissociation, not just with self. For instance, is the prosopagnosia of looking in the mirror and not recognizing the face staring back at you. A dissociation where you disconnect to protect yourself, but also to dissociate from society, experiences. I found typically that survivors of trauma or abuse gravitate towards lives of excess. It is called that it's like a ghost that is constantly hungry but never sated, drawn to alcoholism, gluttony, sex, giving into whims of a false id, an id contrived, built from formative, turbulent experiences in order to sublimate something that was not there, or was destroyed at young age. Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult for people to reconcile things that have happened in the past. There is a disquiet to it. It is true that the hardest bargain is oneself. And it is very difficult to forgive yourself for things that other people have done, especially when you feel like you allowed things to happen. with that in mind, I would say that there is a release in talking. Not just to me, but finding someone you trust. With simply saying words. It doesn't have to even make sense. You could talk the Dr. Seuss, whatever, doesn't matter. Talk. Your voice deserves to be heard. It doesn't matter how loud it is or quiet. Whatever you have to say is important. Do not punish yourself with silence. Do not lie to yourself by miniaturizing experience. Everything is big. Everything is important. If it is big and important to you. And so, I would like to ask, do you remember your first few times at school? Yeah, that's right. Go. Ja. Und how did that make you feel? When you look back at it now, because you told me how you feel then, but tell me how you feel now, looking back at it. How you feel about yourself. Yeah. Right. And when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Who do you see looking back at you? So may I ask you, imagine what you just said about yourself. Now imagine a child walks in and they say what you said about themselves. How would you feel? I know, it's okay. Often we are so cruel to ourselves for no other reason than to do so. Things that we would not stand for to happen to others, we would let happen to ourselves tenfold. And I'm telling you, you don't have to do that. It's not for you. It's not for them. It's for you. Yeah. You do. Only be kind to yourself. You are the only you. And you deserve to be happy. Yeah, I know. Often, sometimes, it can feel like a prison. fear, sometimes we feel lost. Trauma, whatever happens. You can pause time, freeze it, and take a little bit of you with it. Magic that holds you prisoner. We lose that little bit of ourselves in the past, and we try to get it back through the alcohol, whatever. But we find that we are still those children in the schoolyard. They never grow up, still lost. And so if we find ourselves asking permission for things from other people, we give them the agency that we so desperately crave for ourselves. What if you ask, partner, we say, can I do this? Can I do that? Asking permission for things that we can do. We decide we want to do, but we need accreditation or validation for our actions, and it is because if we don't believe in ourselves, we leave a little bit of us behind. But you do not need to sacrifice that agency, to give control, to the power to someone else. You have the power. You are all powerful in yourself. You deserve to be you. And you deserve to be free. To be able to, want ice cream on a Tuesday. Yeah. Won't you say, yes, I could do that. What if there are consequences? Doesn't it? I'll deal with it. You don't have to ask permission. Only of yourself. Trust yourself. Give yourself the power of control. If I told you you could do anything you want in the world, anything you want, what would you do? Well, you can. You can do whatever you want. You have the power. You have the control. You are in charge. We have maybe 20 minutes left or so. It is not traditional practice, but I wonder if you would like to try a little hypnotherapy. Now, hypnotherapy, people think it is people taking control of you, controlling your mind, making you do things like act like chicken or kiss your cousin. But no, I'm doing this hypnotherapy for you to take control. Yeah. If I would get you into post-hypnotic state after you set your goal, you think what you want, where you want to be, what you want to do, who you want to be, which will get you there. So think for a moment. It has to be for you. I insist that it is selfish, but I also insist that it is kind to you. For kind acts, I never cruel. As long as you're kind to yourself, you'll always be kind to others. And that's how the way the world gets better. Right, if you thought of something. Now what I want you to do, is I want you to whisper it. Pay attention. I'm going to swing the pocket watch from your left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right. And I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, you will start to feel sleepy. Very sleepy. As if the weight on your shoulders has been lifted and you can finally relax. And as you start to feel sleepy, you realize that your legs are very soft. And your arms are very soft. And your stomach, too, is very relaxed. And then you start to realize your whole body is relaxed. And you breathe in, and you hold, and you breathe out. And you breathe in, and you hold, and you breathe out. And you breathe in. And you hold and hold, and now you feel so relaxed, like you are in a dream where anything can happen. And when I count down from 10 and reach 0, I will click my fingers, and your intention will be actualized. You will make it so. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Once it's true. Yes, or a little silly, but we manifest what we want to see in the world. If you have been experience of abandonment, loss, hurt, we often want to ensure that it does not happen to anybody else. I will go to great lengths to make sure that at the neglect of ourselves with our own needs. If you know what you want, it is the first step to getting it. And if what you want is to be happy, that's how you get to the right step. And when you do that, when you have a clear objective you know where you're going, and you once again are the commander of your vessel. So, if you know what you want, and you've said it out loud, you've talked, then you have your objective and direction, so you know where you're going. That is the start of taking control of you. And that is what you are doing. You are showing up for you. You are showing up for you. You have decided to give yourself a chance to help yourself get control and to become you. Not a better version, not a different version. You. You are showing up. I couldn't be more proud. The first step in a long direction, long journey to healing. But you're taking it. And thank you for letting me come with you. It's a privilege. Right. Big talk. I spoke way too much. But hopefully it was helpful. What this is just the beginning. Be proud. Be strong. And no matter what